Hello, welcome, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Bill Wooldredge, one of the visionary founders of Hudson Community Foundation, a philanthropic organization here in town that has been making a lasting impact in our community for the past 25 years. As the foundation celebrates this significant milestone, we'll explore the journey that has led us to its creation, the challenges and triumphs along the way, and the lasting legacy it has built through its commitment to supporting and enhancing our community. It's an honor to hear firsthand from someone who has played a pivotal role in shaping a stronger, more connected future for us all. Hi, Bill. Thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Amy, and thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it. I've lived in Hudson since 1972, and I love this city. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to live. And the fact that we were able to start up a foundation here, the Hudson Community Foundation, just tells you what a special place we are. I remember back in 1999, Phil Tobin, God bless him, Phil Tobin, an old friend, came up to me and said, "Bill, we need to have a community foundation in Hudson." I said, "What?" Phil, as some of you may know, is the treasurer, I guess, chief financial officer of the Cleveland Foundation. And so he had a lot of experience and knowledge in this area. I was kind of taken aback, and I kind of thought about it a bit. And I said, "Phil, yeah, that's great. Now, how do we go about this?" And Phil brought in some, he knew one of the law firms down in Akron, and they helped us get chartered. But from the very beginning, what I found really wonderful about Hudson Community Foundation was that I could take some stocks that were highly appreciated and put them into the foundation, and then we could name it the Wooldredge Family Foundation, which we did. And a lot of other people have done the same thing. I'm only giving that as an example of what you can do. But then I could get the tax deduction for that gift the day or the year I did it, but I could give out the gifts over time. I did not have to give them out the same time as I put the money in. And that's a wonderful, wonderful way of establishing your own private foundation. And there were a lot of other things that were great about it, but one I found particularly wonderful was that I was able, and I love kids. I've been on the board of the Akron Children's Hospital for about 40 years, no longer, but I was on there for 40 years, and I love kids. And I found out that there were some needy kids in the Hudson school. There's about 3% of the kids' families qualify for the federal free lunch program. Well, that's quite a few kids when you got 4,500 kids in the schools. So we're talking maybe 130, 140 kids. And so I was able to work with some people. We set up I call it the Needy Kids Fund, but it's the Hudson City School Student Assistance Fund. And I think we have, what now, about 150?
Oh, right over 200,000.
Over 200,000. Isn't that amazing? A lot of people have given money to it.
But that's 200,000 after we've already paid out almost $55,000 that has been granted on an annual basis to the school here, and the administration then distributes where those needs are. Yeah,
very importantly, we bring in the money, give out 4% a year or so, but so 4 times 200,000 is $8,000 a year, and we give it out so we don't know where it's going. It's done through the teachers who know who these needy kids are. But it was a wonderful way of doing that. I could not have done that without the Hudson Community Foundation. So it's a vehicle that I have found at least 2 ways that are very meaningful to me that it could serve our community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us some of the other people that were involved in the initial discussions about Hudson Community Foundation and building?
Yeah, well, after Phil and I kind of thought my way through this crazy idea of Phil's, but it really was not crazy. It was a wonderful idea. And so Phil and I worked on it, and we got some other people involved in the community. At this point in my life, I have to confess I can't remember all of them, but Dan Rich, who's no longer with us, Jim Hackney, who were both 2 guys that were very involved in getting this foundation going. I would think another guy I might mention just quickly is Roger Steele, who took over as a foundation chairman for a while. Mm-hmm. So and there were many others I'd love to mention, but there's just too many. A guy that was very helpful in the very beginning was a guy named Mike Wickham, who was at Children's Hospital. We were both on the board, and I talked with Mike and explained to him. Of course, he lived in Hudson. And Mike put a sizable amount of money in to create his own Mike Wickham Family Foundation. But that really helped us get going, and I guess after about, maybe it was after a year and a half, 2 years, we got up to $1 million. It seemed like a wonderful, we finally got there, $1 million. And today we have how much?
36 million.
Isn't that amazing that the town of Hudson, with its 23,000 people, has a foundation with that amount of money in it. It's a wonderful, wonderful way for people to set up their own family foundations and make a real commitment to our community.
Yes. And today we have over 200 active funds, but I think overall we've had about 275 funds in the past 25 years. So we've helped many families, organizations, individuals start their own charitable giving funds. Can you share with us, after starting Hudson Community Foundation from scratch, what was one of the first major milestones that led you to believe that the foundation was here to stay?
Well, what I did, frankly, was spend a lot of time getting this started, having breakfast and lunch and some dinners with people. And I did this with just about everybody I knew in Hudson. And most of the time, a lot of people turned me down, but there were a few people who didn't. I mentioned Mike Wickham, and of course Dan Rich and Jim Hackney and Roger Steele, and then eventually Don Tharp and Drew Forehand. A lot of people, I can't remember all the names now, set up their own family foundations and got this thing going. It took a while, but well, today we have $36 million. It's amazing when you think of a town the size of Hudson having this kind of wonderful foundation. And as you know, we have a wonderful headquarters right on the green. It's a very noticeable place, so the Hudson Foundation, Hudson Community Foundation is there, and everybody sees it who comes into town.
Yes. One of my questions is going to be, what are you most proud of today of the foundation? But it seems like you're hitting a lot of these points. Is there any other thought that comes to mind that you think of?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, one of my hearts is for kids, and I think the fact that we've done some things that have helped out kids, and especially helped out the high school and some of the funds that have been set up for scholarships. I don't know how many there are, but we're hoping that anybody who wants to set up a scholarship fund for Hudson City Schools will do it at the Hudson Community Foundation. And it's a vehicle that's there to be used.
And well, it's a great point. And we're now over 20 scholarships that we hold at the foundation, and we've been granting over $75,000 to $100,000 out on an annual basis to local students here in the community that want to have further education. And those didn't even exist, 10 years ago. So we've really, made a change in the last decade, I'll say, of growth. But when you think about starting Hudson Community Foundation, can you think back to those early days and the breakfast and lunch? Could you imagine at that time what the foundation would look like at 25 years?
No, I couldn't. I mean, we didn't really have a good place to meet and so forth. And I remember we went out to Drew Forehand's business several times and made phone calls and tried to had meetings. But the fact that we have this beautiful location, I've forgotten the name of the building.
Oh, it's the Baldwin House, and we have the privilege of having that facility for the office because of the Burton D. Morgan Foundation, which, if I say both foundations, both Bert's Foundation and PEGS, have been very supportive over these 25 years as well.
Yeah, Hudson's really become a town of philanthropy when you think about it. We got a lot of philanthropic undertakings here, including, of course, Phil Tobin, who unfortunately is not here today. But Phil has been very philanthropically involved in Hudson and has done a lot.
Yes, very. And thinking back to, can you share with us some of the greatest challenges and opportunities that you might see ahead for the foundation?
Well, there's certainly been lots of challenges in the past. I think going forward, I would just like to see more people in the town become knowledgeable of what we've done, and more importantly, what they can do. It's a wonderful vehicle to give back to the city. And it's a wonderful vehicle you can use for your family in a very tax-advantaged way, because you can make the donation to the foundation for your family foundation. It's not your money literally, but you make the direction of where the money goes. And so you can set it up and then over time have a real impact on the city and things that you love and like. And over time, of course, if you put in a substantial amount of money and you invest it wisely, or it's invested wisely, you can see it grow tax-free in the foundation.
Which is really a fantastic feature, right? Because that just permits you to have more grant making over time, and that you're able to give to the causes that matter most to you, not just here locally, but it could be your alma mater that's out of state, or another charity or cause that might be of interest to you that's out of state. But I will state that over the past 25 years, 24 assets ending at the end of last year, the foundation has granted over $36 million. That's in partnership with our donors. And out of that $36 million, $7 million has stayed here in the Hudson community, you know, funding initiative and projects and programs, and also launching other nonprofits.
You know, I have to think that a lot of that would not have happened if we didn't have this foundation. In other words, this foundation has been a catalyst, it's been a bedrock for doing some of these things that probably would not have happened otherwise. So I feel very happy and very pleased that we've been able to do this. I think it's been and Phil Tobin, I give them a lot of credit. It was his idea, and a lot of us worked hard to make it happen, but it was Phil's idea, and it's really blossomed and become something, I think, pretty terrific.
Yes, and I think anyone that's watching us today would know that we had the hands in launching Taste of Hudson, as well as the Hudson Farmers Market, Leadership Hudson, and many other organizations that exist today, EMS and the Hudson Senior Network. We hold their funds and have helped launch those 501c3 organizations.
Yeah, that's a great point, because some of these 501c3s, we've been able to help them, and maybe some of them wouldn't even started without our help. And so I feel very pleased that this foundation has been a bedrock, has been a way of funding and starting up some very wonderful things in Hudson.
That all provide different projects and programs, and one that we're very active with right now is, yes, we did build the Hudson Fireworks Endowment Fund for the community to have fireworks in perpetuity, but we're also working with Hudson Community Service, the Lighting Committee, to build an endowment to continue to light the green during the holiday. It's lighting of the green as well as all the holiday decorations that are seen throughout the community.
Yeah, it's truly amazing what we've been able to do because of or through the Hudson Community Foundation. And, you know, 25, 26 years ago, I had wonderful thoughts for it, but it's really gone beyond where I thought it would go. I think it's been absolutely fantastic. It's because other people got involved and really made a lot happen. And I'm very pleased. And Amy, I think you've done a wonderful job as the president. And I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I'd love to live another 25 years and see what would happen.
Well, that's another question. I was going to ask you, what do you expect that Hudson Community Foundation will look like in the next 25 years? And thank you for that compliment. It's been an honor working with you.
Well, it's well deserved. You know what? I think we'll be up to $100 million in another 25 years, but that's Bill Wooldredge's thought. And I mean, this town has and will benefit so great from this foundation, so greatly. And it's just fantastic. And you know, we're so proud of the historic area. We have wonderful schools. We have a wonderful private school. We have so many things going for this town, but having this foundation gives us another really strong leg, a really strong basis to build off of.
And on that, I was just thinking too that the foundation was instrumental in the fundraising effort right here at the school for the stadium, and that for such an affluent community that it was privately funded, you know, a stadium.
Yeah, that is truly amazing. And I think our primary role, well, we helped raise some of the money, but for the most part I'd call it the processing or whatever.
Yes, all the gift processing and the donor services.
And that's big. I mean, it's a lot of work, but we had the infrastructure of people in place to do it.
Yes.
Anyway, I tell you, Amy, I'm really pleased with what you've done, and I'm just so, I guess I feel pride about what we've done here and starting this foundation and watch it grow and what it's been able to accomplish. And I have some pride in it.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. You should. You were all the grassroots with the other, members of the community from the beginning. And I appreciate and feel it's an honor to have this position and continue the good work that was done and started more than 25 years ago. So I appreciate that. And I want to thank Bill for being with us here today, sharing the history of Hudson Community Foundation as we are in this milestone of 25 years. So thank you.
Thank you, Amy.